it felt like a lot of people were like, oh, such a disappointing deadline. And I don't get why. Like, I want to start there. We're going to get into the signings and like what we think they were thinking and, did they meet the needs and everything. I just don't understand what people who are disappointed right now thought this offseason was going to bring. I don't know why people seem to go into this with heightened expectations. They were never going to be in on Marner. We knew that all three of the free agents from Florida were re-signing there. We knew Tavares was staying in Toronto. I don't know what people were expecting. Can you make heads or tails of it? By the way, Brock Besser, whose name came up on the show, he goes back to Vancouver. I think Nikolai Ehlers is still out there, right? Or Ehlers. I always call him Ehlers, but he's still out there. But apparently wants to go. He wants to go to a warm city, right? And apparently one that has cup aspirations, which, in fairness, this Flyers team has, but not this season. Probably not really the next season either. So he doesn't really fit the mold. Why are people disappointed?
Well, because I think fans want a team that's going to win, right? And they want to start winning now. They want to start contending now. Fans are impatient. I mean, and deservedly so. I mean, rightfully so, I should say, because the team hasn't been good for so long. Mm-hmm. You do have to kind of give the Flyers their path that they're on here because they kind of told you what it was going to be, right? Mm-hmm. I do think that they're going to be better than they were last year. Doesn't mean they're going to be a playoff team, but I do think they're going to be better. They have a shot at being a playoff team. Things can break their way still in certain ways. The one thing that still stands out to me is because the goalie situation is not the greatest.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that, it was my concern going into last year, and it's going to be my concern going into next year as well, thinking that somebody's going to have to perform over and above expectations to really make the Flyers be, and maybe Vladar will be, and I got used to saying it that way.
Vladar. He is not Vladar. You cannot say Darth Vladar.
Yeah, it's okay. Vladar.
Vladar.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't that sound like it sounds like a luxury car or maybe like a line of furniture? Not IKEA though, but like the Vladar dining set, the Vladar love seat, the Vladar chaise.
Chaise lounge there. No, so I mean, look, Vladar is better than either Fedotov or Kolosov. There's no question about that. So you're upgrading at least the second goalie, but to me, Vladar and Ersson are interchangeable, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the Flyers look at it and say Ersson's better when he plays fewer games. The question is, can Vladar, who's never played more than I think 30, 31, whatever it is.
He's only eclipsed 30 once or gotten to the 30.
Yeah, once. Can he give you 37 and Ersson give you 45? Yeah. I mean, obviously you
can Ersson stay healthy enough.
Well,
that's what it really hinges on.
He needs to be healthy. He needs to feel fresh, and when he is, he's good. But that's the thing. Like, he's not quite a one. So he's always better as a tandem. Maybe it works. We'll see. I mean, but that's the one concern that I have.
People will point to Alex Lyon and say Alex Lyon got $1.5 million for 2 seasons, which is honestly like it's a fair criticism if that's what you want to do. However, this organization knows Alex Lyon enough. They also know that, like, I think Lyon probably would have had interest in coming back here, but like whether they're going to say it or not, I think their belief is Ersson is best when he's in a tandem. He's probably best as a 1B. Are we going to see a scenario where Vladar is able to like unseat Ersson as the number one? Probably not. Is there a better chance of that happening than Alex Lyon coming in and doing it? Maybe. And so if it's that feeling of the competition and trying to like light a fire under Ersson and all that, like maybe this works out better. I don't know.
Well, here's the other thing I want to, and you heard Danny say it, right? There were multiple goalies that they were talking to, right? Mm-hmm. And he didn't mention any of the others by name. I had not heard that they talked to Alex Lyon, but I suppose it's possible that he was one of the multiple goalies that they did. But the thing that was really most attractive to them was Vladar wanted to come here. Yeah. Who knows what other goalies? I mean, even if they were interested, the player has to want to come here, right? Yeah. Maybe Alex Lyon said, yeah, I've been there, done that. I don't want to go back to Philadelphia. So, I mean, you sit there and go, oh, that's what they should have done. Well, sometimes, yeah, it seems like that might be a better decision, but you got to take into consideration in free agency, does the player want to come back? And to be fair, I've not asked anyone if the player wanted, if there was conversation about Alex Lyon, what his thoughts were about those conversations didn't happen. But you don't
timeout here is right. And I had Martinez on my show last week, and he said that he still talks to Alex Lyon, and like there could have been interest there, but it just, even Martinez at the time was like, I just don't think it's the right situation.
Let me put it this way. No player is going to tell a member of the media, I don't want to go to a city when they're a free agent, right? Yes. So they're going to say, oh, yeah, sure, yeah, right? But, I mean, in reality, in the private conversations that are happening, like, we don't know. We don't know what a player's motivation is. Yeah. So there you go. I mean,
now whatever. the Jake Allen of it all is maybe a little bit interesting, right? Like
he
opts to stay in New Jersey. The thing that was weird about that deal, I didn't think he was going to get more than 3 years. He signed a 5-year deal worth 1.8, and honestly, with the cap going up, I felt like we started to just see the very beginnings of like cap manipulation, where like that deal to me doesn't make sense.
Well, so
5 years for Jake Allen, who is a backup, does not make sense. It does if you're willing to eat that money by putting him on waivers in like years 4 and 5 and maybe year 3. But man, it really does feel like, and we're going to start to see these kind of deals stretch it a little bit, lower AAV, be willing to eat that money on the back end.
There's no way he plays out 5 years. Let's be honest. Yeah. Jake Allen's 35 years old going into this season, right? He's not going to play out those last couple years. So you're looking at, he's probably a 2 to 3 year contract, and then it's like, and he signed it before age 35, so they can't have that 35 plus penalty, right?
Yep.
So that's the thing. Like, you can waive that guy and bury that money. Like, all right, we're going to waive him. He's going to go to the minors, whatever. You only get hit with a small penalty, whatever. Yeah. With the cap going up astronomically, what are you worried about? Or you buy it out and you're paying $900,000 a year once you have salary caps that are $125, $130 million. It's nothing. Yeah. It's peanuts.